remains the case in Sri Lanka now especially, that there are very, very few Tamil separatists in Sri Lanka.
Well, they were very successful.
The separatism is outside the country.
Some people would see that. Some people would see that as they'd use terms like invasion, occupation. You know, I mean, I mean, if you look at other conflicts in the world, that's how people view it. They use those sorts of words when people try and become separate from the ruling class.
Well, they're called secession if they're trying to become separate.
Yeah, I mean,
but what I'm saying is that it was before the Tamil Tigers were calling for a separate state.
Yeah.
It was all part of Sri Lanka. So you can't call the Sri Lankan army defending their sovereignty invading anywhere. They weren't invading anywhere. They were defending their sovereignty of the island. Now that is the argument that they gave, and it's a very legitimate argument. The fact is that the Australian authorities and the Indian authorities and the American authorities all supported the idea that Sri Lanka is a sovereign state.
Yeah, well,
right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, that doesn't, to me that doesn't, I mean, so what?
No.
I mean, American can hardly be very high and mighty when they look at Nicaragua, Chile, El Salvador, come on.
Sure. But the one point that I've made is when you say that there's victorious armies rape and pillage as a rule, does that include the British, American, and Australian troops in the Second World War?
It's certainly. I'm not sure about invading armies there because the local populace wanted to be free. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what atrocities occurred. We hear of atrocities happening on, soldiers who were under, who are prisoners of war. We hear about atrocities happening to them and to their wives in, Japan and Papua New Guinea and Borneo and all the way through. I'm not sure that we hear about rape, lust and pillaging happening as the British troops were going through France on the way to Germany. I don't know, I haven't heard about that, but I mean maybe it did occur, but I doubt, somehow there was a sense of, there's a difference when there's a sense of liberation rather than a sense of loss. And I think that, I mean, maybe for many Tamil people it was a sense of liberation and they were treated very well and in a dignified manner, and one hopes that that was the case. But I suspect, like in some aspects of other wars, I suspect that people weren't always treated with the greatest of dignity. I don't know that, I haven't studied it, but maybe that was the case. And if people are making accusations, they have to be able to substantiate those accusations. No one's Snow White, are they? I mean,
hold on. Well, I agree. Firstly, I agree that if you make an accusation, you should be able to substantiate it, right? And the viewpoint that you gave, that some Tamil people might have a particular perspective, they indeed do have that perspective. That, for example, the end of the war in 2009 was an act of genocide against the Tamil people, and that it is an army of occupation, etc., etc. They were also saying that the detention, the displaced people's camps, the IDP camps, as they're called, internally displaced people, that these IDP camps were concentration camps. Right?
Well, I don't know if they were torture camps, but certainly.
No, they didn't say they were torture camps. Well, they said they were concentration camps.
Yeah, people were treated pretty poorly in the Second World War in concentration camps.
I know. And what I'm saying is that when you start using terms like genocide and concentration camps, you're deliberately evoking the Second World War. And anyone who has seen the images of Jewish people coming out of the concentration camps realizes that when you compare it with the Tamil people who were in these supposed concentration camps. There is no comparison with how they were treated, right?
Well, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that, you know, but then historically there had been, you know, in the Second World War there had been, like a lot of them, for example, that came from Poland, there was like, they starved the Warsaw ghettos, they starved people to death.
Yeah.
Then they put them on trains and transported them with no food or clothing or water.
Well, the thing is,
You know.
what the people, what I was saying is that the extremists were saying that that is exactly what they were doing in Sri Lanka in these concentration camps. And it's only people who actually were a little bit, you know, people who were wanting, keen to think the worst of the Sri Lankan military and government were keen to jump on this idea, yes, look at these concentration camps that they built. And I did go and look to see whether they were concentration camps and see what the reports were from these camps. And I'm the one who had to tell my mother when the camps were closed down, because my father was telling her that there were still all these concentration camps and the Tamil people are being subjected to genocide in them. Right? So, do you think...
How many people died in the final battles?
The Sri Lankan government estimates that there were about 7,000 civilians. The United Nations estimated that there were up to 40,000 civilians. My father and some of the others on the more extreme side are saying that there were more than 100,000.
These are civilians?
These are civilians.
And what about people who were fighters?
Well,
Tamil Tiger fighters?
A few thousand of the... Well, that's the thing is that these figures, the Sri Lankan government say that 7,000 were not civilians, they were Tamil Tiger soldiers mainly. But the Tamil Tigers, towards the end, the Tamil Tigers were dressed as civilians. Right?
And did many of those people manage to go into exile elsewhere? Did the hardliners manage to flee the country or not?
According to my father, yes, all the Tamil Tigers just got on aeroplanes and flew out of the country. They bribed the appropriate people and flew out of the country. This is my father's version. And that the people who were poor people got on boats, and he said that they're drowning in the Indian Ocean.
We shall continue this tomorrow, if that's okay. Hello, Nigel. He's finished now? Okay, I will come back shortly and give him a lift home. Thank you. I'll be at about 15, 20 minutes probably. Thank you, bye. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, I mean, it's a very, and now, how the Tamil people themselves, how do they, is there a...
Well, the Tamil people voted, they voted overwhelmingly for the changing government. And up till, for the last 3 elections, my father and a number of the diaspora Tamil groups have been telling the Tamil people to boycott all the Sinhalese elections and not to vote for president. But this time they all changed, and apart from a few hardline Tamil groups who were still saying boycott, most of the Tamil groups were saying vote and vote for Sirisena, who's the new president. So there's a lot of elation amongst the people who were trying to get rid of the Rajapaksas. Now, the point that I'm making is that those people who were, like my father, who were saying that there was genocide going on with the Tamils, do they think that this genocide has stopped, right? Or is this, like the Tamil, for example, the Tamil political leaders in Sri Lanka don't think that there's genocide of Tamil people, right? That is a big indication to me that there is no genocide of the Tamil people.
You're probably right.
Right, and if the...
It's unlikely to continue, otherwise it would be, you know, I mean, yeah, you can't otherwise the purpose would be to wipe them all out. But
Yeah, well,
if they're able to be enfranchised and vote, and they voted someone else in, then there must be a certain amount of contentment about it.
yeah, exactly. So they're very optimistic that there's going to be a lot of change, and they're saying that this is the first time in any election that it hasn't been a majoritarian government.
And are the Tamil, what would be equivalent of Tamil MPs?
Oh yeah, even with Rajapaksa Singh in office, the northern and eastern province were represented by the Tamil National Alliance, which is a political party that won the northern provincial elections, and they have a northern provincial council. However, they don't have as much power as they would like to have. They want to have more police powers and more land powers. Now, with this new government, it's quite likely that they are going to. For example, there was Sinhalese military governor of the Tamil areas. One of the first things that the new governor has done is that they have replaced the military governor with the civilian governor.
So do you think there's a possibility of, like, in the UK where they had sort of devolution, where you had, I mean not now, but in years to come, do you think that, like, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, do you think there's ever, even though they're under the sort of the of the United Kingdom, whereby, I mean, the Tamil northern government, would that be similar to sort of like, would they be able to have rights over health and education and stuff within that province, within that area, or not?
I think it's a matter of, with the health and education, I have been saying that the Northern Provincial Council, there are certain aspects, it's a bit like a local government, and there's a balance between local government and federal government.
Yeah.
Like how much powers and what powers should go. There are certain aspects of health programs that need to be national health programs. I think it's the same thing with say, defence.
Would you ever like to go back and work there?
Yeah.
Would you like to go back?
Yeah. I'm learning Sinhalese and Tamil with the intent of going back at some stage.
You'd be great.
Yeah.
You'd be great. You'd be a real gift to them in terms of, developing those sorts of dialogue. You'd be great.
Well, I try and contribute my ideas to Colombo Telegraph, and I get a mixed reception to what I'm saying, But there are lots of people in Colombo Telegraph. It's a bit like I gave the example of trying to write comments that support the Labour Party in a Liberal Party newspaper. Right? If you write anything supporting the Labour Party in Liberal Party newspaper, you will get roundly attacked. If you try to write anything supporting the Liberal Party in a Labour Party newspaper, the same thing will happen. And likewise, the Colombo Telegraph audience was polarised against the Rajapaksa government. Now I'm curious to see, now that there's a new government in there, how much, whether there'll be more balanced reporting and commenting. At the moment there's a group of people who are calling for vengeance and war crimes trials and corruption inquiries, and I think that there might be a role for corruption inquiries.
Yeah, and I think the way that South Africa, in terms of what was the way they had that
Truth and Reconciliation.
Truth and Reconciliation. I think that was a much better commissional idea of doing it than, I can't see the point of war crime tribunals, unless perhaps that was not the case in Sarajevo, places like that.
Right. Well.
But I think in terms of reconciliation, I think that's.
Well, that is the one of the big sticking points at the moment, is that the international the diaspora, the Tamil diaspora, there is a section of it who are super keen for international war crimes investigations, right? And they're pushing for these international war crimes investigations. And my father is planning on flying to Geneva in a few months' time as part of this machinery calling this push for international war crimes. He's the person who organised for them to have Jeffrey Robertson representing him.
Oh, really?
Right. So Jeffrey Robertson is representing them. So it's quite a big deal.
Well, he's as high
Yeah,
as you-
he's as high as it
as
can
high
get.
as you can get when you're looking at. I mean, he's as high as you can get.
Yeah. So.
Well, I didn't bring my yellow bag with me.
All right.
For some reason, I didn't put it in the car
All right.
because I was dropping a bloke
There's
home,
no bad.
which is that I need a swab and gloves and stuff. So I'll come back tomorrow if that's okay and give it you.
All right. Okay.
So we've had a great chat, for
Radio.
now, which
Okay.
is really nice anyway.
Yeah.
And we can. If I think of some further questions for you
Yeah.
between now and tomorrow,
Okay.
I'll do it and have a look at that. And,
I'll read it carefully.
and basically, that's what I think
Yeah.
is a trial of no medication, remain on the ITO
Right.
for 3 or 4 months, and
And
then
discharge me off
and
that.
then discharge off the ITO.
Okay, well, why don't you, when you go home, say, go back, right, and you had a long talk with me, I don't seem to be showing any signs of psychosis, why don't you start the trial of stopping the drug now?
I can make my recommendation.
Yeah, make the
I can make those recommendations on Senewiratne system. And,
Okay, well, make the recommendation and see what happens.
will do.
Okay, thanks, Nigel. See ya.